What made it?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy middle of the month. It really is the middle of the month.
2024 is really just not messing with us. Let's just go ahead and say that. Oh, wait, we can't. No, put it down.
Oh, I'm so thirsty.
Working protocol.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
All right, listen. So we've been talking about the 7 kinds of rest this month, which we were fortunate enough to find out this information. And we wanted to share with you because sleep is not just about, rest is not just about sleep. We've been finding out. So if you haven't been here all month, go back. We've been talking about that. But this week, we're going to discuss 2 of the other types of rest. We're going to talk about emotional rest and mental rest. And so, if you're like me, do you ever feel like your mind is racing? You can't stop thinking about all the things you got to do, not just today, tomorrow, but next week and 2 weeks from now, whatever. And you feel overwhelmed, and even when you're resting, you're not 100% resting. So we all have an idea of how to rest our bodies, but when it comes to emotional and mental rest, sometimes it can get a little wonky and we don't really know what we're doing. So how do you give your mind and your emotions the break that they need? If that sounds like something you're going, oh yeah, I probably need to do that too.
I know some of those words. Shout out to Ed and Goodburger.
Hello, then stick around. This episode is for you.
It's for you.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman.
What it do, y'all? Welcome to Truthful Chats. You know what time it is? Not focused. Cut off. She grabbed it at the wrong time and then wasn't ready. Anyway, welcome to Truthful Chats. Okay. What is it? Simply Pink Lemonade. I keep telling them we will take a sponsorship from y'all. Whatever y'all want us to sell, Simply, we will do it. Okay.
That strawberry.
All the Simplies are fantastic. Every single one. I have yet to have. I don't think. Maybe grapefruit was my favorite. Y'all got a grapefruit? There was something I had that I was like,
I don't love the watermelon.
This isn't it's the watermelon. That's what it is. Watermelon juice is not. I know Beyonce did it and I had hers, and it was okay. But it stinks. It smells nasty.
Yeah, I don't love
watermelon juice is meant for in the watermelon while you're eating it. But anyway, I digress. Welcome to Truthful Chats. This is our weekly podcast series designed to get us to the ongoing practice of creating generational wellness, which is our overarching brand, banner, motto, all of the things. If you don't know what the words create generational wellness mean, but you like the way it sounds, that makes sense because it's our term. We made it up. So if you hear anyone out in the streets using it and it's not related to Truthful Chats or Pam and Jess or nothing related to what we're going on, in the words of the great Scrappy, nuck if you buck. So here at Create Generational Wellness. I didn't say we needed to nuck if you buck. I said the people will nuck if you buck.
That's why we talking about
on our behalf. Okay.
Jesus.
So at Create Generational Wellness, we have a monthly theme. And so each month we unpack the theme that we're talking about, and we usually do that right here on Truthful Chats. Okay. The theme for August, though August is again flying by, is rest. Hello to everybody watching live and direct. We love you. Pew, 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 pew. What is all the bombs and stuff? They be doing that on Here's the Thing. Shout out to Kevin and Angel and Joshy Goins. We need a Joshy Goins. If anybody want to be a Joshy Goins, if anybody got Joshy Goins
energy
skills, we just 2 Black women, but she's older and I'm oldish, so I'm youthful and fun, but like sometimes I'd be like,
I'm fun.
It's a lot of people's jobs. That's what I will say. So the 2 of us doing this can sometimes be a lot of things. So that's why the theme for August is rest. Okay, woosah. And today's chat, if you clicked on it, is rest your emotions and your mind, or your mental mind, as I learned from Riley Freeman, to be well. Okay, so if you clicked on this video, you should know that. Okay, so a little backtracking. I actually did this today. It wasn't even really for fun. I actually really could not think of Doc's name, unfortunately. And I was like, what is the lady's name for the 7 types of rest? Do you know I typed in the 7 types of rest on the Googles? And Google gave me Psychology Today, which maybe she wrote that article. I didn't click on it. Calm had an article.
Everybody has an article.
What I saw was cultural appropriation and whitewashing. I said, where is Dr. Dalton Smith's name on any of this? I had to literally type in the 7 types of rest and her name for her stuff to come up. So that being said, we always gonna give this beautiful Black queen her just due around here, okay? And if you know her or you know of her, tag her and tell her there's some Black women crediting her for her work on her podcast, unlike many of the others. All these psychology magazines and took her idea. Anyway, this is Dr. Saundra Dalton Smith. She is the creator, founder, put the stamp on it, copyright of the 7 types of rest. F what you heard is hers. Okay, she came up with it because everybody out here, I was like, why are we really? It's 2024. We still stealing. That's crazy, right? Anywho, so if you haven't been with us, these are the 7 types of rest. Okay, this is all. You can find this on Dr. Dalton Smith's Instagram page. This is where I got these screenshots from. Thank you so much for joining us in real time. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Please feel free to comment as we go along. You know, we like to highlight when we can do that, you know. So go follow this Black queen and thank her for her work. That's all I'm saying, because you know how I feel about that. Anyway, the 7 types of rest: physical, mental, sensory, creative, emotional, social, spiritual. Thus far, we have talked about sensory and creative. Last week, we talked about social and physical. And today, we are talking about emotional and mental, which means we only got one left. But we'll get to that. All right. So a little breakdown. This is just review. Okay. If you haven't been here. All right. No worries. We like to catch things up to speed. So these are just a brief overview of the 7 types of rest. Again, on Dr. Dalton's page. This is not us stealing. Okay. Just go look her up, follow her, tell her what's up. Physical. Okay. Sleep in or during restorative activities. Those could be passive or active. We talked about that last week. Mental, which we're talking about today. Slow down and give your brain a break. I think we think our brains don't need a break because white people have taught us that. But that, like many things white people have told us, is a lie. White people, this isn't a direct attack at you. It's just y'all like to consider yourselves the architects of everything and modern thought and all that. It's probably something you stole from Black people anyway. But like I'm saying, y'all have taught us anyway. We could just go with.
Yeah, because they needed us to just go out in them fields.
Well, of course, but also it doesn't work for y'all. But anyway, we digress. Sensory, unplug from screens, noise, light, etc., which is very hard for us in the 2024s. Our whole lives is on screens. So creative, appreciating the beauty and nature of nature and the arts. We got a little creative rest this week too, actually. Emotional, take time to feel or express your feelings. We did that today, which we'll probably talk about that. Social, get solitude and time with positive people. I did a lot of that last week. I'm very much in solitude this weekend. It's doing me good. Spiritual, cultivate belonging, love, purpose, etc., etc., etc. To quote the great king. Was it of Siam? And The King and I, etc. I love that movie. Shout out to Yul Brynner and them. It's very racist. I haven't watched it in a long time. It's racist though, but
most of the movies were at that
time. Tup Tim wasn't Rita Moreno. We was talking about her this week. Don't she Tup Tim? She was, and it's only because
you would know that.
It's only because she was the darkest person in Hollywood at the time.
Only you would know that.
Anyway, no, I wouldn't. It's Googleable. And I watched her documentary. Anyway, so these are the rests. Dr. Saundra Dalton Smith, check her out. She the realest. Okay. So this is what we've been talking about. I just wanted to bring you up to speed. If you're like, this is my first time, I don't know what y'all talk about. I don't know what y'all do over here. that's what we've been on. And we will be on for the remainder of the month, except for probably the last episode of the month.
We'll still be on rest.
Well, technically we'll be on rest. It'll get a little bit more specific. We won't necessarily be talking
guest.
Dr. Dalton. We have a guest. So
that we're very excited about.
Because he helps get our lives in order and together.
The Bishop of Zen.
Okay. Literally. Actually, that is your new title. Congratulations, Bishop. You have officially been dubbed
the Bishop of Zen.
And if you know that man, then you know we tell him the truth. Okay. So, as we're talking about mental and emotional rest, right? Mental is giving your brain a break, right? Time to slow down. Okay. And emotional is taking time to feel your feelings, which I think is important. I say that all the time. I'm telling my friends, just feel your feelings. And then express your feelings, which is a different skill set, I think, because I think people feel their feelings, but articulating their feelings are two different things. I don't know that we'll be talking about that much today, but that just came up as I was talking. So it's all about really just taking a breather daily, but also I would say multiple times during the day, because as we like to say often on this show, and we say in life be life in. And sometimes, though we have been taught to just push through in all situations, circumstances, and times, that it's dumb. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like that. That's dumb. And there are times, yes, when we have to do that, but I think when we start to do that too much and override our sense of what our body is telling us, as Bishop told me today, when you do that enough times, I think you start to like betray yourself and betray your nervous system and betray your body. Like you just be ignoring what's happening. And then that leads to health problems, challenges, mental and emotional health issues, relational issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It all starts with you, I guess is what I'm saying, or me, so you don't feel attacked. You are, the master of your little universe, okay? So we want to make sure that everything is firing all cylinders, okay? That's the way you create generational wellness for yourself and then create it for others. So it's like we just encourage you to sometimes hit the pause button, okay, on the constant demands, the stresses, all the things, okay? When it comes to emotional rest, it's important to step back from the act of emotional labor. I feel like Knight was probably the first person that said that term to me. He actually said it in relationship to Black women usually carrying the brunt or the weight in romantic relationships. And I was like, ooh, that sounds deep. And it led us to a series of conversations that we won't get into now. But I think if we don't think about every day is some level of emotional something, but the labor involved. It's labor for me to get out the bed every day. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I don't know about necessarily emotional labor, definitely physical labor. But I don't literally, if I go to the bathroom and give my brain enough time to start firing, I actively have to trick my brain into still thinking it's sleep, even while my body's moving to go to the bathroom, so that I don't just start going. Because if my mind starts going, then my emotions start going. Because all the worry and all the stuff, your body just really waits for you to wake up. Your brain don't really never stop going. It just be like, oh, we in that little power mode thing. But then it just
you're on sleep,
right? Then it just jumps back in. It's just like, oh, you awake? Okay, cool. So we were thinking about this.
Now, listen, I say no out loud. When I get up, I go, no. I'm the queen of the no-nos. I was like, no, we're not thinking about that yet. We're not awake. I literally have to say it out loud.
I seriously Jedi mind trick my own mind. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Oh, I'm so tired. Where am I? I have to act. I have to act to get my body to relax. And this usually applies in terms of this sort of I think it's everyone, but there are certain people who I feel enjoy taking on emotional labor or don't even recognize they're doing emotional labor. They mean well, they're well-intentioned, it's good, they care about
and maybe
people.
It ain't heavy for them.
That's true. Some people's gift is to carry, but also those people should also know how to unload so that they're not carrying other people's stuff. I think about that for therapists or caregivers or people whose job it is literally to take on other people's stuff. They also, it gets scary if they don't have a way to regulate that or be this is your stuff versus this is my stuff. Or once I do the thing, then I clock out and I'm not at home worrying about Jane's marriage because she shared a lot with me in session today. You know what I'm saying? So There's whole reality shows and stuff about that. Like if you ain't never seen couples therapy on Showtime, God bless that woman, because I'd be like, dang girl, and she be in the middle of heated debates with them people with arguments, and I'd be like, I don't know how you don't take some of this home with you, because ew. So for the people that like always are giving advice or like never really say no, those are the people that often need emotional rest. As Son, aka Simone Bozeman, put it in her song, check on your strong friends, okay? Because they be going through it. They be the ones that be trying to act like nothing's wrong and they got everybody and yay, and then they be going through something and don't nobody be there. So let's just all do better about taking care of each other. And you just got to make the space, right? Take off the pressure of all the life demands. If you are a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser, right? Taking time off for that, constant caretaking or caregiving for some, and we're not advocating like drop all your responsibilities. Like if that's really your stuff, cool. But also invest in taking emotional mental breaks. That's all we're saying. Okay. So mental rest is a little different, right? That's giving literally your brain a break. Okay. We have nonstop stimulation anyway. We got phones in our hands, screens, everything demanding our attention at all the time. Mm-hmm. So this is just about giving your brain a chance to unplug and let your mind recharge. And sometimes I just be like, I just want to give my brain to do the space to do what it wants to do. I think a lot of times I end up taking on like a lot of information or like injecting other people's lives on the social media or like doing stuff. Like I'm the queen of like not having my phone. My friends be mad, like, why are your notifications always on silent? I've talked about this before. I said, because the dinging gives me anxiety. Whether it's y'all sending me funny videos or Instagram or emails or people looking for money I don't have, like, I just don't be dealing with it. Or my friend's mom be like, oh, you not taking your phone with you? I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. It's right there. Like, she like, you really just don't be like having it next to you. I'd be like, no, I'll look at it when I need to, but it don't like.
I love her though, because whenever I text her, she texts me right back.
See? But y'all are probably, what did you call it today, Bishop? North Node Capricorns. They always be wanting to do the work. Okay, so in this type of rest, right, for mental sake, it's staying balanced in your brain, which is very important. Okay, we can walk down the street and see people who are not balanced in their brain. Some of that's chemical, but some of it is
we
just
can turn on the TV and see people who are not balanced in their brain. I'm correct.
So sometimes you just don't have the right mechanism in place, right? And then you also want to avoid burnout. We all know what burnout is. We've all been there. And if you haven't experienced burnout, that means you haven't been living long enough. So when you take the time to rest emotionally and mentally, you are really giving yourself a chance to process your feelings, your own feelings, not how everybody else feels, not what they think, like your literal feelings about things. Recharging your mental batteries, right? Being like, you know how you take the batteries out of an actual toy and then the toy don't work? That's what we talking about. Take the batteries out, your actual brain for
put them on the little recharger
and chill. Improve your focus and your productivity, right? I think we've all been like trying to do a task that we should be doing, but we don't really want to do. And the scrolling be giving us life at that particular point. And then for boosting our overall well-being, period, is what happens when you rest mentally and emotionally. Because you're really taking all this that's on your life plate, pushing that off just for a little while. It's not forever, but just for a little while. Okay. And I can hear y'all understand my life. I got kids. You can find time to push something off. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do it.
So how do you know when it's time for you to hit that pause button? Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like?
What are the signs, as Elmo and Christopher Maurice Brown said?
So here's some signs. So you feel overwhelmed. You're having trouble concentrating. Your mood swings are up here, over there. You feel physically drained. You have a racing mind that won't shut off at night. In the day, it will never shut off. You struggle with memory. You struggle with simple tasks. You're irritable. You're on edge more than usual.
Great.
You disconnect from your coworkers or loved ones. You don't want to go nowhere. You don't want to see nobody. You don't want to touch nobody. You be hitting the decline on the phone all the time. You get sick a lot. I thought this was interesting to me because
that makes the complete sense to me.
Your immune system, it's just run down. And so you're getting
because
sick.
Your nervous system is run down
Yeah.
because you're letting the people and the things and stuff run you.
And you have trouble recovering, and you lose sleep, you have restless night, and you have changes in your appetite or eating habits. You either don't want to eat anything or you want to eat all the things.
All the things.
All the things. All right. So if you're nodding to any of those, it's time for you to take a mental health day, maybe, or find ways
all
to
the rage in the workplace. I hear.
Incorporate more rest into your routine. And here's a note to self, me, and anybody out there who has trouble doing this because you think it's selfish. It is not selfish. It is essential. So when you recognize that you need this rest and you actually take it, you are setting yourself up to be more present, more productive if that's what's necessary, and just overall happier in the long run. So
hopefully,
yes. So, we love the science over here. So let's talk about what is the science that goes on in your brain when you take a break. Your brain doesn't just switch off automatically when you're resting. It is actually pretty busy. If you haven't seen Inside Out, go see it.
Two.
Inside Out 2. Yeah. Even when you're taking it easy, your brain is shifting into what scientists call the default mode network. I had never heard of this. Learn something new every day. Default mode network. The initials are DMN. I kept saying, damn. Okay, it's the default mode.
Shout out to Kendrick from my duck word.
But anyway, it's like your brain's autopilot mode where you stop focusing on the outside world and you turn your attention inward.
To your inners.
Yeah. So during this time, your brain does some pretty cool stuff. On autopilot, it kind of problem solves a little bit. It makes connections, organizations about all the information you've taken in the day. This is sometimes why it takes you a long time to go to sleep, because if you took in a lot, it's going to take you a lot unless you do a ritual before you get ready to go to bed that helps you get all that out before you actually get in bed. Don't wait to get into bed to start winding down because all this stuff is just still going on. It improves your self-awareness, helps you understand yourself better, and it improves your memory. It's like a filing system for your brain, so it knows where stuff is supposed to go when you take that time to rest. It enhances your empathy. You become better at understanding other people's feelings, strengthens your moral judgments. Can I say that again for the people in the back? Strengthens your moral judgments. Your sense of right and wrong gets a tune-up. So if you've been doing a lot of crazy stuff out here.
Hood rat things with your friends. Oh, that's interesting.
Your brain could need some rest because that's why you keep making stupid decisions and doing crazy things.
Stupid felt like. Okay.
Stupid decisions. Whoa. So think about and because your brain doesn't rest, you can't think about the future at what things are going to look like. And we talk about this a lot with boys, with that frontal network, global young people or whatever. Not just the boys and the girls. But when your brain doesn't get the right amount of rest, you can't imagine future self. You can't imagine consequences. You can't imagine, like I said, the moral judgments, the sense of right or wrong. And so, and your brain actually goes through a cleanup mode when you're in that
clean up.
It's like there's a little janitor in there with a little broom, sweeping up all the things, getting all the stuff off the walls.
For the next day.
Cleaning up the graffiti or whatever, and making sure you function well. And when you don't sleep well, your brain is kind of blocked up. If you have a constipated brain, it's not working the way that it's supposed to work because your cylinders are not all firing the right way.
Brain.
Yes, that's the image I got.
It's very backed up, blocked up.
Mm-hmm.
So all the brain activity that happens when you're resting, which you should be resting. Listen, we all know 8 hours is the goal, but sometimes 5 or 6 will do. Just make sure you can function. I'm a napper during the day. I know some people don't believe in it. They be like, napping is lazy. I think that's demonic, but that's just me. Because there are benefits to it for your overall
napping is essential.
Right? Again, some of the things you said improves your memory and your learning. When you rest, when you power down, your brain starts to consolidate your memories, right? And that helps you to learn better. It's kind of like hitting the save button on the document that is the information you received during today. Okay. So that helps. It helps with better emotional regulation. So when you rest, that means your brain is able to process your emotions more effectively.
And you don't be popping off on the people.
It takes a lot of energy to pop off.
Oh,
I really
my
don't
gosh.
enjoy popping off, but I get that in terms of like if you're not sleeping, that feels like a great emotional release to just get it done right then. Now your brain is to pop off right then. Now your brain is not if your brain is tired, it's not quick enough to be able to stop you from your like knee-jerk verbal vomit reaction. So that makes sense. So your brain helps your emotions when you want to verbal vomit or say the first thing that comes to mind, go, hey, back that up. But if your brain's not rested,
that moral judgment thing I was
help
talking
you
about.
process your emotions more,
your future self. If I say
effectively,
this, what's gonna happen?
And you know that helps you better navigate the ups and downs. Okay, the roller coaster. You have enhanced creativity when your brain is rested. So that default mode network, DM, what is it? Damn, what is it?
The default mode network.
Oh, okay, default mode network. Yeah, it's where all your creativity, your creative thinking, your problem solving, your all of that. Rest can literally be your superpower. Actually, I think Jess told me that actually one time that rest can be your superpower if you do it right, and you can age backwards like Wolverine if you do it right. Reduced risk of health issues is what happens when you have a rested brain, right? Enough rest is actually like
healthy.
Scientifically
healthy. We're not just BSing out here.
It can lower the risk of your health problems because you give your body time to repair and your mind time to repair. So that it can help with your high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity. Because if you're sleeping, you're not eating in the night. It's very, very simple. That's no shade, no diss. It's just real. Shout out to Pastor Ray for that. Improve mood, like it's the same thing we've been saying. It helps with the quality of your mood when you sleep well.
That's serotonin.
Balances your hormone levels, your neurotransmitters, all the brain chemicals that like help you feel when you get a really good sleep and you like, oh, I feel so refreshed. I feel something. That's what we're talking about. That's improved mood.
And there are hormones that are actually doing that. Because like you said last week, I know when the stress is high, you are functioning off of too much cortisol. There's so much information about the damage that cortisol does to your body. Look it up. So if for no other reason than you trying to get rid of that cortisol,
which I am,
try, because it makes you fat. It makes you hold on to belly fat. It does all kind of things. Belly fat is just very important to me at this particular juncture in my stomach. But
these are my confessions.
So I'm trying to get rid of the cortisol in every way that I can because I want better physical health. I want my muscles to feel better. I want my joints to feel better. And all of that is related to cortisol and cortisol production in your body caused by stress.
Sleep helps with better physical recovery, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly what we're talking about. Get your body a chance to repair itself. Muscle recovery, healing, especially for y'all that be really killing these workouts and like really doing a lot. You got to get in bed. And then sharper focus and productivity, which we've talked about. Well-rested brain is a well-focused brain. Okay. You can concentrate. You won't need as much coffee. You won't be hyped up on all the things that you're trying to do to keep yourself awake if you would rush. So the science of it is pretty cool because it's like we're not just talking out of our butts. It's real. And when you're less tired, your brain and your body function well. They help you navigate through life much better. And stop letting these people make you feel guilty about taking your little breaks. Okay. Like I was a queen of napping in the car at my job. You know what I mean? Like I was where I needed to be when I needed to be there. It was like they was looking for me, but it was just like, I need to power down to get through the rest of the day, to do the task relatively well. And not die running these errands or doing whatever I'm doing. So, take your little breaks. Rest is not just nice to have, it's essential, it's crucial. And it makes you a better, happier, healthier person.
I will say I took one today that I was not planning, but we had a couple of meetings. Well, it was Thursday, so we had therapy today. Then we had a meeting after that. And then I realized
I went and laid down.
I
with
was
my
about to start doing.
dog nephew immediately after.
There's a process that we go through on Thursdays to get ready for the podcast. And I realized I just can't do that right now. It's not happening. Like it sounded in my brain like my brain was going Ricker, Acker, Ricker, Acker, Ricker. And it was like I could not hear, I could not focus. I was like, this is gonna take me forever to do the things that I need to do. So I don't know who told us or where we heard it, but laying on the floor like takes away the overwhelm.
Been saying that for years.
I know. I said we.
Oh, I was just saying.
We just heard somebody literally say it like 2 or 3 weeks ago that they were
it was
saying
probably just talking about it. Just stay on the floor.
Get on the floor. No, it was in a podcast or an Instagram or something kind of thing. But it was confirmation.
A lot. So
it was confirmation. So I just took out my little yoga mat and I was like, I'm going to get in the middle of the floor and I'm going to have some mental and emotional rest right here. And I got a bolster and I put it behind my neck and then I put it under my hip for a little while. And I just actually laid in the floor for about an hour. And I felt incredibly refreshed when I got up. Like my mind was like, okay, let's go. Let's do what we got to do.
Productive.
Yeah, but before that, I was like, oof, I can't feel it. I can't feel it. But anyway, just to show you
an example
of
when you listen to
in real time, when you listen to the experts and you listen to your body. So, and then let's talk about how you give your emotions a break. And we're going to just talk about 3 today. Nothing new, nothing fancy, not new to this, but true to this, because we've been talking about it for over a year. Because why? They work. It's proven. These are, 2 or 3 things that it's like coming back around to just the basics. And when it gets crazy, these are the things you need to do to give your emotions a rest. First one is self-compassion. And that is to think about how you treat yourself. Are you treating yourself like you would treat your best friend, right? Are you doing that thing that if your friend came to you and was telling you about somebody else that was acting a certain way, would you be trying to ask, tell me their name, where they at?
Tell me her. Shout out to Paris.
Tell me her. So you have to have that same compassion. You have to be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself when things go wrong. They don't go the way that you want them to do, to the way you thought they were going to go. Stop beating yourself up all the time. Offer your own self some understanding and compassion and patience, right? Common humanity. You're not alone in the world. People are going through things. Everybody messes up. Sometimes people mess up a lot. Sometimes, and they just keep going or whatever. So it's human nature. Things are going to happen. You're going to get messed up. You can have compassion. You can have kindness for yourself. And then be mindful about it. Notice when your thoughts and feelings are without getting caught up in them. Like today, it was like,
caught up.
I'm tired. I'm going to rest. I'm not going to judge myself, which I have been known to do. I have been known to be that person to be like, you can't. That's just being lazy. What if you had to still be sitting at a desk with your boss over your shoulder? You would figure out a way to get it done. So I was like, no, it's okay.
God has blessed me. Where are they going to come from?
To be
pop out the closet
in a situation where I can, if I need to, lay in this floor for an hour and still get done what I need to get done. And I'm grateful for that, right? So you might be wondering, why is all this important? It is important for your mental health. It's important for your well-being. It's important for your generational wellness. It's important for making your emotions better, reducing stress, your physical body. We can't say it enough. All of it works together. Here's a simple exercise to get started. Next time you're feeling down on yourself, beating yourself up about what you didn't get done, try talking to yourself like you would a friend. If you were trying to encourage your friend who was feeling bad about something that happened, what would you say to them? Say that to yourself. Turn that kindness inward to you and practice. It'll get easier as you go along.
Get your practice up. Get your practice up. Okay. The second way to get an emotional break, set up them boundaries, boo. I feel like we've been talking about boundaries in the podcast. I've been talking about boundaries in my friend group. The boundaries, I've been talking about boundaries in therapy. The boundaries is a thing. Okay. It's very important. Because there are these little invisible lines that define what's okay and what's not okay in our relationships and our interactions. With ourselves and with the other people. I mean, you got to set some boundaries with yourself, which is like she talking about. Stop yourself from talking to yourself crazy. Do it all the time. Yes, Jesse Patterson, the boundaries is good for everybody, honey. And being articulate enough to understand yourself. And yes, both ways. Okay. Amen. Set the boundaries. So you have boundaries for you and you know how you want to be treated. So then you can clearly articulate that to the other people. Now, just because you articulate them doesn't mean that's going to happen, but that's part of the negotiation of it all. Okay. Let's not just be like, well, I told them my boundaries, so they should just, that's not how humans work, sweetheart, but that's okay. But you've said it. And then based on whether they do it or not, then you assess that relationship. Okay. But this is about setting the tone, setting expectations about relationships and interactions. So they're great for emotional well-being, but they are very, very tricky. Again, because humans are tricky, strange creatures that might be down and sometimes not. Okay. Boundaries are like Kool-Aid. They come in different flavors, but some are more important than others, depending on your personal preference. Okay. Physical boundaries. That is your personal space. I think we all have basic, like, don't touch me, kind of, maintain your distance, them kind of things. Okay. Physical boundaries. Emotional boundaries. That's all about protecting your feelings. Okay. How you're feeling. Again, process them emotions before you start to share them, because sometimes we be triggered and then we start going off and then we don't know why.
Process those emotions.
Definitely have done that this week. I had a couple friends with some scenarios and we just had to talk through some things. It's not that we resolved everything, but I was like, let me give you the space to get a little emotional rest in here. Go ahead, process your little feelings and then express your feelings. Or we're processing your feelings as we're talking about them. Okay. Time boundaries, managing your schedule. I probably could be better about that. But part of my time boundaries is also to respect my emotional boundaries. To be like, if I don't feel like doing that, I'm not finna do it. And you're not about to beat me up about it and make me feel bad about it.
And in that,
etc.
I feel attacked. But okay.
This was really not about you.
It's all right. It's all right.
It was about.
If it was.
It was about. No, it really wasn't. See, she's selfish. It was about me internally not yelling at me about not doing stuff. Because some days I just ain't got it, and that's okay. So time boundaries, managing your schedule, but I think that also comes with knowing when you are in the space to actually be doing something. Because why am I doing it if I'm gonna do it crappy or crappily? That's not real conjugation, so don't worry. Congregations. All right, next up, work boundaries. That's separating your work and your personal life. Okay.
Them work and time boundaries go together, I think.
So again, physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, time boundaries, work boundaries. And the clearer you can set these boundaries, make them, okay, you'll have hopefully healthier relationships, less burnout in all of those arenas and areas. You got to say yes to yourself, okay? By sometimes saying no to the rest of these niggas. And that is the way OG would say it. And it's true. Say yes to you and say no to these other niggas, okay? Because they're going to do it. They're going to say yes to themselves and no to you. And you might actually have some real regrets. And I'm not saying do that all the time, okay? So at some point, that's just you not showing up for people. But if that's the season you in where you can't show up,
oh God help,
then that's just be clear is all I'm saying.
Be honest.
This is I'm just being honest. Shout out to Andre 3000, okay? And you will be a lot clearer about that if you are practicing the rests, so you know where you at any given time, okay? Yes be yes, and your no be no.
And practicing what I'm about to talk about, which is the journaling. Again, because like Beth said, you have to process your emotions.
You can't articulate what you're not clear about.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And so sometimes the journaling is the place, pretty much most of the time, unless you're just a genius. But most of the time, the journaling is the place where you can process those emotions and those feelings and get them down on paper before you unload them on somebody else. Because once you write them down, you might see like, oh, that really doesn't make a lot of sense. Or I really should think about that another way. Or this sounds like I'm being unnecessarily selfish. Or this sounds like I'm giving too much of my power over to other people. Like when you see it in the black and white, then that horrible movie you made me watch. When you write the list out, then you
Which
know
movie? We watched
Divorce in the Black. When you make that, so when
Divorce
you make
in the
the
Black.
list, that journaling, when you write it down and you see it in black and white, it will help you to regulate your emotions, your feelings, what you feel about a certain thing, and where you're going. Like it'll reduce. Journaling helps me because if I don't write it down, I keep thinking about it in my head. It keeps spinning around and around and around in my head. And I keep like going over it, which is it causes stress.
You get it out of the echo chamber of your head and
you get it down on some paper and you can look at it. So that's really good for your mental health. And there's no right way to journal. We've talked about that before. It's just get into the habit of getting it out, getting it on paper, and letting it come through in the way that it needs to come through. Some other things you need to do, we talk about this and we're all guilty of it. You got to take a break from the devices. Just whatever that looks like for you. Like, you can't be on the phone 24/7. You really can't. And 61% of people admit that they're actually addicted to the internet and to the digital screens. And you ain't got to look around. Before you go out to dinner, there's 5 people sitting at a table, everybody on their phone. Like nobody's talking to anybody. Nobody is like, it has gotten to be a little bit out of control. So
she sound like an old baby boomer when she says
I'm sorry.
And she be the main person on the phone.
I'm sorry.
If anything, I'll be getting as a millennial who I could take her lead that phone. If that phone is like, it be gone for hours. And people be like, where's your phone? I'd be like, I don't know, nigga, it's on her somewhere.
You just don't like the phone.
I be getting crucified for not being around the phone. I'm like, nigga, I don't.
Yeah, but you go through
Am I on my phone?
Yes.
That's
what I was getting ready to say.
That's what I said. They be trying
to
act like
on your phone for you.
I'm mother superior when it comes to this. I'm just saying my relationship to it is not quite as attached. And I don't have a demanding job like that. If it's a constant communication thing, if I'm on a project and we gotta stay communicated, then it's that. If it's just a regular day, probably not. Yeah. But digital detoxes are important. We talk about this all the time, especially when it comes to, again, mental and emotional health, because you be looking at other people's lives all the time. They doing stuff you wish you could be doing. They boot up with whoever you wish you was boot up. They taking trips. They doing this. Their job is great. Again, it's a constant highlight reel. Some of that might not even be 100% of what's happening. But since we've all gotten into the habit of putting glamorized posters of our lives on the internet, then everybody feel like they got to keep up with the Joneses. Okay. But, I think it gives you less time to, like I said, figure out like how I actually feel or what should I be focusing on or what are the things I want to do without it being a constant influence or stream of someone else's consciousness and thoughts and lifestyle. And like, you might not even, you remember when B. Simone was like, I was trying to, I was going to buy a G-Wagon. And then I realized I don't even really like G-Wagons. I was just doing it because everybody else was buying it. I forgot. We talked about it one time. It's like some type of like, it's literally like there's a scientific term for it. If I think of it again, I'll find it. But it's like mimicking something. Like it's like you mimic the values and desires of the people that you're surrounded by or the information you're taking in. So social media and digital detoxes help when you step away from that, because then it makes you identify like, am I mimicking something that's not
or
really,
is that really a sincere desire of mine?
A set core value or something that I actually care about, or I just think I should care about these things. So keeping all of that in mind is important.
And you don't have to go cold turkey. I mean, just start
a little bit.
A little, you just say, okay, I'm gonna not do my phone for 30 minutes.
Timers.
Or, let the phone go dead. If
that's crazy. That's crazy.
If that is
just because things can happen.
If you cannot cut it off on your own, just let the battery drain out for like 30 minutes at least. Just be like,
I'm telling you, some of y'all, let me tell you something. Thank God I feel like I have a particular level of discipline. But I can tell this. If the notifications ain't on all the time, you'd be surprised.
No, I can't.
Maybe do that. Turn the notifications off for like 20 minutes just to see if you'll be less distracted. Because doing all that work, ding, 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 unless you have a job where you got to stay connected, then I don't know what to tell you. But not having notifications.
Unless you have a job where the dings mean you're making money.
That too. Shout out to Coach. That's where I'm trying to be at. Where the dings. I'm like, whew, that's so soothing. The money's coming through. But I would say that just try to like turn the notifications off, because like you'd be surprised to be like, dang, I ain't. Oh shoot, and then you miss like 10 things in between if you're that popular. But anyway, digital detox is important. I'm all about mindfulness and the meditations. Okay, it's not just about achieving empty state of mind. It's really just teaching your brain to focus on something, hopefully positive or calming or relaxing, because it's training you to be aware and present. And being on your phone doesn't help with that.
I put on the little YouTube thing today when I was.
She just always. What do you want me to do? Give you cookies and stars?
It's a big deal for me. You could say, "I mean, yeah, Mom, that's great. I'm so glad that you did.
Congratulations."
I need a pat on the back sometimes.
Well, she should be turning to me like, "Did I do a good job?" I'm like, "Yeah, girl, if it's all right for you, absolutely." Because it's about what you need to do. Calm.
It's generational wellness. You're teaching me.
You're getting generationally well.
You're teaching me how to do things that I would not normally do, but I'm getting better at doing them because of you. And that's what we mean when we talk about generational wellness. Help the generation before you, generation after you. Thank you, Jesse.
Jesse's congratulating.
Thank you so much.
All right, millennials.
That took a lot for me.
Congratulations.
To stop my work in the middle of the day, to lay on a yoga mat and listen to some quiet.
Anyway, congratulations on baby boomer parents when they be doing the bare basics. Okay, these are all things that they could be doing themselves. But note to self, okay, I'm being humble and transparent in front of the audience. They need verbal reinforcement to be told.
We need a participation.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
We need a participation award like we used to give y'all. So whatever.
Okay, so Pam is practicing mindfulness. She realized I'm not bullshit. But what I'm saying is true, okay, and it's working. And that gives you a certain sense of calm, peace, balance. Okay. Again, that helps with your emotional mobility. You can keep it all day, but you did that part. Yay!
Okay. Thank you.
Good for you.
I appreciate it.
Let me get a little cookie for you. So yeah, that part of mindfulness, that's being a workout for your mind. To keep you centered, to keep you peaceful. I have noticed though, I'm house sitting at my friend's house, and I have actually not been meditating really since I've been there, because it's just such
this house is so peaceful
environment all the time.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm trying to create.
That's not gonna happen here, so you should let that go.
Yes. Okay.
But anyway, that's for our therapist, not for y'all. So if your mindfulness searching or being like, how do I do that? You find a hopefully quiet, comfortable spot in your house, minimal distractions. Get comfortable, get you some pillows, lie down. If you got to sit up straight, just be in alignment in your spine, be comfortable, focus on your breathing. Usually you are breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. That slows your breathing down. In a lot of yoga practices, they'll have you close one side of your nose and breathe in, and then the other side of your nose, like hold the other side and then breathe out, and alternate different sides of your brain depending on what nostrils you're breathing in. Helps regulate your nervous system. Girl, just go on the YouTube videos.
Okay, I will.
You can learn. they're like little babies. The baby boomers.
Hush.
The
That's
baby
why we're called
boomers
baby boomers.
The baby
Be quiet,
boomers are
finish.
little babies when it comes to their little mental and emotional health. They so cute. They so cute learning about their little ways to take care of themselves. Anyway, and then once you're breathing, you're gonna have thoughts. So the goal is to never not have thoughts. The goal is to, if the thoughts are doing this, to let them go instead of being like, let me hold this, think about this, and fixate and focus on the da da da. The idea is to have the thoughts be doing this. Like you're focused on your breathing, the thoughts are going, and you're not judging yourself for having thoughts. So take baby steps, do like a minute, build it up to 2 minutes, get up to 5 minutes, keep doing it. There are a plethora of things on YouTube. I talk about it all the time because those people all taught me how to meditate and be more mindful. We've talked about this as well, nature therapy. So that's just getting outside, okay? Being outside, letting nature regulate your nervous system. It reduces your mental stress, improves your cognitive and focus, performance, increases your happiness, your well-being. You have better social interactions because you outside, boo. And if you can't get outside, bring outside inside, okay? People have plants. My homeboy got a bunch of plants. Actually, a lot of my male friends have plants, okay? Like, that's their kids. But it is a very calming zen environment. Jess has a lot of plants. Jess actually has a great green thumb. Shout out to you, Jess. I wish I had one. But that can create a lot of healing space. Put it on nature sounds. I've been sleeping to nature sounds. I pretty much sleep to nature sounds every night.
Yeah, me too.
I've been doing waves at my homeboy's house. I was doing raindrops. You got to see how you feel. Because sometimes the rain makes me aggravated. So I've been doing ocean sounds. But you can do, I've done falling snow before. Anything and everything you want is on the YouTubes, honestly.
And I have a little machine by the side of my bed. I can change it to thunder.
Crickets.
I can change it to crickets. I can change it to a babbling brook. I can change it to ocean waves or whatever. But it just, I switch it depending on some nights. The only thing that works is a thunderstorm. I don't know why, but I'll go a week.
It's a mirror for the rage inside and the thunderstorm inside.
And then some nights the ocean is okay. But I always sleep with it on every night.
Lighting, right? My homeboy has incredible blackout curtains, like, and blinds. It's just you don't know what time it is, really. Or mood lighting. You know, people have mood lighting in general, like those color lights, or some people have those like projections of the stars. My homeboy is big into wind chimes right now, and like he has crystals he's putting in and like all these things to just like regulate the environment. So listen, all this to say mental and emotional rest are not luxuries. Okay. All 7 of the rest are necessities. We hope that we've given you some suggestions or things to think about in terms of practices to start small. Please don't overwhelm yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not about that life. To get yourself really in a mental and emotionally better space, okay? Because you're not crazy. Life be lifing. Things be hard. Things are happening, or you just need a break sometimes. So you can be better for your friends, your family, your responsibilities, your work things. And you might have to get like serious about like actually scheduling these things. Like just like you make time in your calendar for brunch and date night and time with the kids and get everybody to school and all of that, like really scheduling in like rest breaks. Maybe you just are doing breathing breaks, right? While you eating lunch, or, you know, some people take walks and listen to music on their lunch break instead of eat. Like just finding time to like really give in this particular case, your mind and your emotions time to rest, particularly when work be working and your coworkers be co-working and the things might not be copacetic at the job, which takes a lot of your time and energy. Yeah, building in those rest breaks in those times to not just reward yourself to be like, yeah, you did a good job, you deserve a rest. But sometimes in the midst, if things are super chaotic or the technology could be against you that day or anything, any number of things could be happening that's like raising your cortisol levels and your stress. Implement one of these rest options, and then that'll give your brain and your emotions time to rest up, chill for a minute, and then who knows, you might come back with a whole another level of energy or a burst of creativity or a problem solving thing that you hadn't thought about or couldn't think about because you was trying to push yourself through it or just get through it or steamroll your way through it, as the baby boomers like to do. But we're teaching them a better way.
And for us, we have to get over the guilt. Sometimes, as the baby boomers, we have an incredible sense of guilt when we don't get all the things done that we think we should do. And part of that comes from a historical context, especially as Black women, a feeling that we got to handle it, we got to make sure it gets done. And there is a lot of historical underlying causes for that. Go back and look at our February episodes, and you'll see it didn't just happen. It's been the history and the context of our existence in America that has kind of led us to a place, particularly Black women, that we feel like we got to get it done. Because if we don't get it done, who's going to handle it? Who's going to get it done? So to get rid of the guilt of that is something that we consciously have to work on. We consciously have to say, okay, I'm going to be intentional about getting my rest and about not feeling guilty about trying to get it. And
yes, Jess, yay for the baby boomers. We're giving you your kudos. It means a lot as y'all unlearn all the negative patterns and behaviors.
We don't want to unlearn them all because that, as the old people say, how we got over. Some of it is how we got over. So you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you do want to take what we need for now and for this generation and to change our mindset where it needs to be changed, to look at the things that we cannot control and be okay with what we cannot control, and learn how to deal with that in a different way than a lot of us are. Our parents deal with it, our mothers deal with it, and hopefully we're clearly not passing it on for you to pick up that mantle. So what does that, so what does that look like? Learning how to set the boundaries, learning how to delegate the task, as Black women, we'd be like, all right, ain't nobody else gonna do it. Well, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get it done because it gotta get done, this, that, and the other. And sometimes it doesn't.
You don't need to delegate no task. Yeah. What you need to do, sit your ass down. Either it's gonna get done or it's not.
And that's a mindset
running
shift
yourself ragged.
It is. It really is.
Trying to figure out the lives of these niggas and various other folks.
Yes.
Okay. So release yourself, Black woman. Pick up the Doctor's Sacred Rest book.
Get the Sacred Rest.
Get the Sacred Rest book
and go through it
and go through it, because you could be stressing your life out about these kind of things. But sometimes everybody got to learn their own lessons in their own time.
Listen, remember, at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to appreciate all the sacrifices you're making. You're like, all the sacrifices, they're all in your head. They're all in your mind. You're going to appreciate it. And
the only person giving out awards for doing well, my good and faithful servant, is Jesus. Okay. If you're working too hard, you might meet him before you're supposed to. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. So
anywho.
Make the sacrifices count by taking care of yourself first. Like Jessica's showing the Sacred Rest book. Yes, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's make it a priority from now to the end of the year, that if you haven't been doing this, that you put it in your end of the year processes.
And also, let's hold each other accountable. If you see a Black woman doing too damn much, or a Black man doing too damn much, tell them, Jesse, am I not the queen? I'd be like, what the hell y'all doing, shawty? Have I been accused of being lazy and maybe not caring? Sure. But that's not true. What I am is committed to peace and rest. Okay? So get your life up. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this episode and this Truthful Chat about mental and emotional rest. Mental and emotional rest. Okay? Listen. Queen are telling them to calm down. Thank you. My friend is here to actually give you real proof. Okay. I'm not just playing around here. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And get the rest. Exactly. Just get the rest. Okay. Mental and emotional rest, particularly as Dr. Dalton Smith has coined it, Very, very important. Okay, we've established it's important for your overall well-being. You got the practice, the act of practicing self-compassion. We've given you all kinds of tools and tips to help you recharge,
And we're not done. We have a few more.
rebalance. Okay, this is what this show is really about overall. So these are probably things you've heard before. We just be finding people to confirm that what we be talking about is true. And again, the part about creating space to process your thoughts, your feelings, boost your focus, and ultimately get you to a happier, healthier you. Not just for you, okay, even though that's important, but for everybody connected to you, right? Because that's what generational wellness is.
Absolutely.
You're creating generational wellness for you, yourself, your family, your friends, and the culture at large. If we're all better, then the world is better. You did. So with that, we thank you for your time. We will bid you adieu. We got one more rest left.
Spiritual rest.
Spiritual rest, which I'm very excited about because it's just one of my favorite things. It's been an interesting season with that. It hasn't looked like what it used to look like, but it's still active.
I think that's going to be a good chat as we talk about that.
And I still get to be all of my ratchet self and all of my spiritual self at the same time, as Mia Jess was talking about. Don't put your hands
Bless
on
the
me.
Lord.
Jesus wants me to be all of me. See, look at the baby boomers always trying to, because it's a way that you're supposed to.
I wasn't saying
separate,
that. I was just saying, bless you, Lord, in all, whatever, wherever you are.
The baby boomer. Stretch your hands to the baby boomer closest to you.
Everybody.
And tell them, release this mind. Release the mind from the craziness that they experience. They all need deliverance.
Oh boy.
Anyway, thank y'all so much for your time. If you are watching us, please subscribe on the YouTubes. Remember, if you love to watch the podcast on Facebook, you can't watch the podcast on Facebook because we need you to get them likes up on the Facebook page. Once we hit 100 likes, then we can stream straight out to that. If you are in the auditory universe, thank you for listening on Spotify, Apple Music. I always say Spotify first. I know people don't like that, but I love Spotify. But Apple Music, Spotify, I know that's the right hierarchy. And Amazon Music. And wherever you get your little podcasts, actually, that's where we'll be. So we'll see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful night. And we love y'all. See you around on the interwebs.
All right. Bye.
Bye.